So in July this year, the United States made it much harder for people in Ghana to get visas to visit. They changed the rules so that visas only valid for one entry for just 3 months. The US government said this was because too many people from Ghana were overstaying their visas. So on September 10th, President John Dramani Mahama held his first presidential media engagement where he confirmed it.
Okay, it's about Ghana-US relations. First, we were slapped with 10% tariff that was increased to 15%, and then we're included in 36 countries that were going to be placed on a visa ban. But in the meantime, all 5-year visas were cancelled, and we were restricted to single entry 3 months. It shows the tightening situation in our foreign relations, but I do think that we still enjoy good relations with the United States of America.
But recently, the US Embassy suddenly reversed its decision. They announced that they are going back to the old rules. Now, standard visitor visas are good for 5 years, and student visas are good for 4 years. Foreign Minister Honorable Samuel Okudzeto-Ablaka welcomed this good news. He said it was the result of months of high-level diplomatic negotiations. So the big question is, what happened during those months of talks? What made the US change its mind? Well, the answer seems to be linked to a separate deal about deportations. Under President Trump's stricter immigration rules, the US has been looking for countries to accept deportees.
The Trump administration is working to try to hit its aggressive deportation targets and has signaled more deals with countries where undocumented immigrants can be sent.
And in September, Ghana agreed to accept a specific group of people. These were nationals from other West African countries like Nigeria, Togo, Liberia, and the Gambia, who were being deported from the United States. A first group of 14 people arrived in Ghana under the new agreement.
We were approached by the U.S. to accept third-party nationals who were being removed from the U.S. And we agreed with them that West African nationals, were acceptable because all our fellow West Africans don't need a visa to come to our country. So if they decided to travel from US to Accra, they don't need a visa anyway. So if you're bringing our colleague West Africans back, that's okay. And so I think that agreement has been activated, and a first batch of 14 nationals came. Several of them were our Nigerian brothers.
Now, this decision by the Ghanaian government, led by President John Dramani Mahama, was not popular. He received a lot of criticism, both here home and from abroad. In his defense, President Mahama said Ghana was just following a West African agreement on free movement. And the foreign minister have been very clear that Ghana is not getting any money for this.
It is important to stress and to state unequivocally that Ghana has not received and does not seek any financial compensation or material benefit in relation to this understanding. Our decision is grounded purely on humanitarian principle and Pan-African solidarity, to offer temporary refuge where needed, to prevent further human suffering, and to maintain our credibility as a responsible regional actor. Ghana's decision must be understood as an act of Pan-African empathy. It is not transactional. Like Rwanda, Eswatini, Uganda, South Sudan, who are welcoming fellow Africans, we are standing up for our brothers and sisters in distress. And this should not be misconstrued as an endorsement of the immigration policies of the Trump administration.
And this has led many people to ask, is our government saying it cares more about citizens of other countries than their own governments do? And this is where the story gets more complicated, with 3 different points of view. And the first point is the government's view. They frame this as an act of Pan-African solidarity. They say Ghana is helping its West African brothers and sisters by giving them a place of land in the spirit of regional cooperation. Second, the view of the opposition in parliament. They are strongly against this deal. They say it is unconstitutional and should be stopped immediately until Parliament properly debates and approves it.
The fact that we, the minority members of the Foreign Affairs Committee, had to learn of this development in the media is very disturbing and is consistent with attempts by the executive to disregard the other arms of government. We have learned that some of these foreign nationals are being held in detention centers against their wishes and have gone ahead to institute legal action against our government for the breaches of their fundamental human rights. Despite these actions and genuine concerns being raised by Ghanaians and the international media, we are told that some 40 more people are due to arrive in the country pursuant to this same unconstitutional agreement.
And the third one is what the timeline suggests. The US lifted its visa restrictions very shortly after Ghana agreed to accept these deportees. And this makes it look like diplomatic trade-off. So what are we to make of all this? On one hand, the government says it's acting on principle to help our neighbors. On the other hand, its opponent sees it a dangerous deal that was made without proper legal steps. This situation raises tough questions. What is the real price of a diplomatic favor? And are we doing enough to protect the human right of the people being deported? It is a complex story with no easy answers. What do you think? Was Ghana's decision a smart practical move, or was it a compromise of our principles? Let us know your thoughts on this in the comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that matters. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Sharif Haruna, and this is the AS1 Report. Have a joyful life and see you in the next one. Macrao.